Now,
Okay.
I ran with all kinds of different people growing up, like well before my band days, wrestling days, and all that. And a lot of the people that I ran with, surprise, surprise, we smoked a lot of weed, we did a lot of hallucinogens. There was this one guy that my current group of friends at this particular instance hung out with. We called him Whiny Mike. We had more than one Mike in our group. We had Lucky, who's still my best friend to this day. I love him. And we had Whiny Mike. Now, Whiny Mike was rich. His parents, I'm talking millionaires. Like, they were rich as fuck. But Whiny Mike never had his own money for weed. He never had food. He never chipped in. And it was kind of a long-running joke about how useless he was as a human being. But he was a cool guy, whatever. Every group's got a Whiny Mike. Whether they're rich or not, everybody's got a Whiny Mike. One day, Whiny Mike looks at me. I'm stoned as fuck. He's stoned as fuck. I had just done 3 hits of acid, just like 5 minutes ago, and he comes up and he says, "Hey, Rats, I want to take you out to get donuts." And I double taked. I was like, "What? Who the fuck are you and where's Whiny Mike? Because you've never once treated me to anything." He's like, "Yeah, I know. I feel really bad about it, man. Let's go down to Jolly Pirate Donuts." If y'all don't know, back then there used to be a chain called Jolly Pirate Donuts, and they were all over the goddamn place. They were great back in the day. So we decide we're going to walk to this Jolly Pirate Donut place, and this place is probably like a half an hour walk. No big deal. We're stoned. I'm tripping. Fuck, donuts sound great. So there we are on our journey through Huber Heights, Ohio. We make it there. We're out front, and Mike says, "You know what? Fuck donuts. We need to get something nicer. You deserve better than donuts." And I'm like, "Mike, I want fucking donuts, dude. I just walked a half an hour for donuts. Go in there and get me at least one glazed fucking donut, and then we can do whatever you want." So he goes in, gets the glazed donut, comes out. He's like, "All right, here's your donut. Now we're going on a journey." My friend owns that car over there, and I barely even glanced at this car. I didn't even see what kind of fucking car it was. I just noticed that there was a car there. He's like, "Yeah, he keeps the keys up there. He was inside. He told me I could borrow it. We're going to go down to the 7-Eleven. Because the 7-Eleven has the giant ass muffins in the morning. They've got Slurpees. Just, it's nicer than donuts." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Okay, you got me my donut, and I don't have to walk anymore. I'm sold." He opens the car door. I get in. That's it. Couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about this car. I get in, and I just lay across the back seat. It's kind of comfortable. It's nice. He gets in. Oh, we start driving. About 5 minutes in the trip, I'm like, "Mike, who did you borrow this car from?" He's like, "Oh, he just mumbled some name." I was like, "Cool." A couple minutes later, I was like, "But why is there a cage? Why is there clearly a cage separating me and you?" He's like, "Oh, you didn't notice that when you got in?" I was like, "Kind of, but not really until now." He's like, "Oh, yeah, my buddy's a cop." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, this is his like private car." And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is his car." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I didn't see the outside of this goddamn thing. And then we drive another 10, 15 minutes. I'm hearing sirens behind us. I lean up and look out the back window. I was like, "Dude, I think these cops are following you." I think there's cops following you. He's like, "Really? That's weird." I look out and I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking weird, man." And then we drive in silence for another 5 minutes. He's like, "Dude, look what I found." I'm like, "What?" There's a shotgun mounted in the front of this car that Mike speeds to hit the. Mike fired accidentally the shotgun that was mounted after fiddling with the safety and fucking with it because he didn't intend to shoot it, but he did, and it blew a hole through the top of the car. I'm like, I'm terrified now, and I can't hear anything because we're in a tiny fucking car, and there was a fucking shotgun, and so I can't hear shit. What I don't hear is that now the sirens are going, and the cars are following us closer. And then he's like, "Oh, I found something else." Once we could hear again, like a couple minutes later, I was like, "What?" He flips the switch, and I hear louder sirens because now I'm starting to hear at least out of one ear, and then I see lights everywhere, and I realize. That is when I realized we're in a cop car. Not the shotgun, not the cage, none of it. It was the moment that he flipped on the sirens. So now I know that we're in a cop car. Now, this is going on for a while. This chase, if you were to look this back up, and if anyone's interested, you can privately message me after. There is video of this police chase online in 97. This made the news. It was a chase that lasted for 5 counties. And if you've never been to Ohio, some of the counties are butted up kind of close. So if I say I went to 3 different counties today, I can do that in under an hour. But we did 5, and that was an over 2-hour journey of Mike refusing to admit that the cops were following us directly, so he didn't need to pull over. Me assuring him that they're definitely following us. The weird saving grace is, we were following some that's on the radio because I eventually got him to turn on the radio to tune in the local AM station news. And that's how I got him to believe me finally that he'd stolen this cop car, and in fact, had lied to me about it, and that we were in a stolen cop car, and they were chasing us this whole time. He finally admits it. He finally believes that what's happening, and by then, again, we're almost at that 2-hour mark. My biggest saving grace is that I only leaned up out of the seat once in the very beginning. According to the radio report and what our friends were watching on the news, there was only one person in this cop car. Only one person. And I'm like, math, man, there's two. He's like, oh, they probably just didn't, they probably just don't know I'm here. And I said, Mike, you're fucking driving it, buddy. Like, they know that you're fucking, they think it's just you, dude. He's like, no, they think it's you. I'm like, I'm in the back fucking seat. Who's moving the vehicle? So this was a serious argument, like an angry argument I had trying to like lean up and like slam into the cage. I'm trying to get him to pull over. I'm tripping my balls off. Meanwhile, he's cutting through neighborhoods. He's going off road, popping up on the highway, coming off. We were not in danger at any time of hitting another car, thank God. At least moving vehicles. He did clip a number of parked cars. He knocked down signs. All said and done, they estimated that he did a little over $112,000 worth of property damage. Different cars, public shit, driving through fences. At one point in time, the back right door became so damaged that I could actually open it. Because, obviously, if you've never been in the back of a cop car, you can't open it from the inside. It got so damaged, the car started to fling open, and I realized it. And I thought to myself, Mike's never going to stop this car. Today was the day that he did too many drugs and lost his shit. So I'm either going to die or I'm going to get arrested. So he cuts into this one last neighborhood. We are officially a little over 2 hours away from our original location and nowhere near any 7-Elevens. Like, we're in a town that has never even heard of 7-Elevens at this point. And he turns this corner real hard. He got a big lead on the police, and I just opened it and tumbled out. I tumbled right out of the car as it went around a turn into these people's bushes. And this is when the story splits in two, because I got to tell you my experience and Mike's experience. Mike's experience is known because it was very well broadcasted to the world to see. And you can't believe anything he said, but I was also there for support for the court date, which I'll explain in a minute. I was never brought up on any charges for this because I was living in a bush for another 8 hours, but we'll get back to me in a second. So Mike does not realize that I'm not in the car, apparently. And according to him, he attempted to speak to me and was getting progressively angry with me when I refused to answer his questions. He did not know that I had exited the vehicle and rolled out. So he ends up driving for about another 15, 20 minutes and says, fuck it. He's pissed at me. He drives into a glass building. It is a big office building. There's people in it. He drives to the front of the glass and he parks the car and gets out. Cops are already on his ass, so they've already surrounded the building. County is ahead. Like, literally, cops are joining this chase. Every time he goes through a different area, they're ready. They spot him. So this is all known. So the cops are completely surrounding the place under 10 minutes. Like, it's just, they're now treating it like a hostage situation because there's a shotgun in the car, even though it's not in his hand. He fired it once. They know it's there. He knows it's there. So they're treating the whole thing like a hostage negotiation now. He's asked for his demands. Mike, in his infinite wisdom, decides that what he wants is a big muffin and a Slurpee from 7-Eleven. Now, don't know how much anyone here knows or anyone listening knows about hostage negotiation. If you ask for something exceedingly simple and it's promised to you, usually, if they deem it something that will like heavily de-escalate, they'll do it, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of things of whether they wouldn't or not, but they did it. They got him the muffin and they got him the Slurpee. And I don't know what he said to any of the people inside because he doesn't remember. And there was obviously like no microphones and coverage didn't cover the inside. But he told me he got bored. But it still took another 5 minutes after he wrecked the car through the glass to still realize that I was not in the back of the car. He finally went back and opened the door and looked, and I wasn't there. So he goes through this whole thing. The cops, they show up. They're like, okay, we have what you asked for. How do you want to do this? He said, oh, I'll just come out and get it. So Mike, when his request arrives, he just walks out and sits down, takes it, sits down in front of them and eats the muffin and starts to drink. And they're just like, make of him. And he starts whining, because that's what Whiny Mike did, that he was promised what he was promised. So they actually unhooked one of his hands, kept the other one with his belt loop, and let him finish his drink and his muffin on the way to where they took him. This motherfucker, when he did go to court, and again, I was there for only moral support. He got off of community service because his parents were exceedingly rich. They had to pay, was it triple the amount of damage that was actually done, settle with a lot of people individually outside of court for their cars and things like that. But yeah, that was it, community service. And he did his community service with the that I worked for my very first haunt with, because we did a lot of community stuff. So he actually joined us and haunted and did some of our extra events to work off his community service. Now, then there's me, 8 hours alone. I took 3 hits of acid. I was fucking, my God, the sky was melting. I was so fucking out of my brain. And this was the moment that I found my hatred for lawn gnomes. If you've never done a too large amount of acid for the time in a very stressful situation, let me explain to you that everything suddenly seems a million more times more terrifying and intimidating than it ever should be. When you are stuck, you're terrified in someone's hedges in some random neighborhood, you don't even know where you are, and you look out of the hedges and you see 5 gnomes staring back at you from their yard. I'm not going to say it's a little, it's a lot bit terrifying. I pissed myself. I looked out of that bush, saw 5 fucking gnomes staring at me, and I know they were moving, and I know they were whispering about me. I pissed myself. I was terrified. I never left the hedges, and the only reason I know that it was about 8 hours because our friends were watching this entire thing fucking unfold on live TV. And they realized that really quick that it's Mike, because they know the cop's car. They know the cop. And they'd already heard that Mike borrowed the guy's car from our inner group of friends, also in the same city. Word got around pretty quick that it was Mike. But that was also when everybody realized they hadn't been able to reach me all day. And they thought that there was a possibility that I might somehow be with Mike, because my parents didn't know. No human being knew where I was. And there was always at least 1 or 2 people, no matter what. If I chose to drop acid or do hallucinogen, I had safety people where I would say, hey, I'm being safe about this. I'm telling you what I'm doing and where I'm going. It all happened so quick. And, I got off donuts as a fat kid. So I wanted donuts. I didn't have a chance to tell anybody. So they basically took the path a couple hours after everything was over that Mike took. And it was really easy to follow the destruction because it was fucking blatant everywhere. They followed the path and they realized they saw something really familiar sticking out of a bush. It was my pants, because I had pissed myself and I wanted to dry off my pants. And I thought, these people cannot see me. They do not know I'm in their bushes. Only their lawn gnomes know. And as long as the lawn gnomes did not tell the people who lived there that I was there, all I had to do was take off my pants, put them on the hedges on the outside, like facing the lot. So they saw my pants sticking out of a hedge, like hanging there, like almost like the hedge was wearing pants. Like they were just on the hedge. And well, luckily I found out that these people had been on vacation for a week and were not due to come home for like another at least a week. So there was no one actually home, thank God. But they found my pants and they stopped. And all I knew from inside the bush was that I was surrounded by lawn gnomes. I was going to die here. I had nothing to eat or drink, and I had 3 packs of cigarettes and a pack of joints because I would always pre-roll and take things with me. And I just sat there in that bush, 8 hours, smoking more joints and smoking all my cigarettes. And then someone tried to steal my fucking pants. The second my pants moved, I jumped out of those bushes because I realized this was my moment. This was my one moment to stop the terror of the lawn gnomes and fucking stand up for myself once and for all. And one of us was going to die, and it was me or the gnomes. And goddamn it, if I was going to die, it was not going to be without my pants. So I jumped out of those fucking bushes, swung, ended up popping one of my best friends right in the face so hard I knocked 2 of his teeth out. Jesus. And then I saw it was him. He had my pants in my hands. He got real quiet. I got quiet, and I put my pants back on, and I got in the car.